All right, the B team, we are back, and we welcome on for the first time. He's losing his B team virginity today, Mr. Luca. Mr. Luca Doncic.
Thank you guys for having me.
Lucci.
Mm.
Welcome to the show. Obviously, he's a
way
Steelers
better
fan,
than Luca
so
Doncic,
this is going to be real good. Real good.
I'll take that. Take it where I can get it.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's a little brisk out today. It feels great. Glad to be awake.
Football weather. Yep.
Football weather.
Yep.
We're here.
Yeah, no, we're going to get into some stuff. Obviously, we'll get into the Steelers, but we'll do that at the end. We'll save all that because we tend to have people on, and I found that if we start talking about their team immediately, we never get to anything else that we wanted to talk about. It ends up being an hour and a half of us either. Like, when any Eagles fan that comes on, they will create arguments for no reason against their own team. Like last week, we walked Greg into a circle where he was eventually blaming his own fan base for being terrible. His own fan base. So, yeah, but we don't need that today. So we'll save that for the end. We still might get there. But, no, we had two really good games last night. I want to start with Monday Night Football. Lions beat the Seahawks 42-29. So we can start there. I mean, personally, I think that the Lions exposed the Seahawks for being a bad, good team. Like I think the Seahawks were kind of let off the hook with the beginning of their schedule, and it almost put an idea into our heads of like, oh, the Seahawks are real. No, they ain't. They played the Broncos. They played the Patriots. Granted, it was away. Played the Patriots, and then they played the Dolphins without two, I believe. Was it
Stevenson, the quarterback?
Is it Stevenson or what's his name? Is it Thompson?
Oh, Thompson.
Is it Skylar?
Is it Thompson? Not Stevenson?
Yeah. So
Whatever.
That's what I mean. Like, we don't even know his name. Like, that's who they played against. And then last night they finally play a team with a winning record, a good team. They have a little bit of pedigree. They've gone into the playoffs. They've gone deep. And they, for the most part, just got, like, smacked around. Right? So, yeah, over to you guys. I mean, like, what were your thoughts on the game? Do you think the Seahawks are still a good team?
So that game yesterday, okay, I do agree with you that they did start out with like a little wimpy schedule. I thought they looked all right, to be honest. I mean, going into Detroit, that's a wild atmosphere. I thought DK had a great game, but there were a lot of no calls on that guy. He was getting smothered all night. I was watching it with Luke, and we were just like, dude, like they're not calling. I mean, the amount of flags that was just thrown in general in that game was just absurd. I mean, you can't even count on fucking 6 hands how many flags that were thrown. But this just goes to show this is why the Lions are the favorites to win the NFC North. They're too strong. They did kind of come out slow out the gates, but once Laporte is healthy and you have him as a weapon, I think J-Mo's finally coming along to be that wide receiver too that he's always tried to be. They couldn't stop the run. I don't know if you guys saw that one play that Monty had. Just getting absolutely destroyed, somehow stood up, bounced out to the outside. It was probably the most physical play I've seen in a long time. But Goff played well. He had a receiving touchdown. Amon-Ra had a passing touchdown. They were just kind of having a field day with that defense, and they did kind of expose them. But I thought Kenneth Walker he's just such a solid running back. They had the right game plan. They just couldn't stop them on defense, the Seahawks. Like, the Lions were just too overpowering. But they'll be back. I mean, again, that's a tough game. They did make it close, but it was the Lions. The Lions just played harder, better players.
I honestly couldn't agree more. I think the Lions are a great team. They got great players on and off the ball. It's just the only thing I have to question is that you're going to let Kenneth Walker run all over you for 3 touchdowns. I mean, granted, he's Kenneth Walker. He's a good running back. I wouldn't say he's one of the greatest, but I think the Lions' offense played a hell of a game.
No, the Lions' offense, I mean, I don't think any of us have questions about the offense. We came into the season, we were talking about it going into week 1. What was the issue going to be with the Lions? We talked about that. Their defense has issues. Like, they've always been that team. I mean, look at them even when Dan Campbell showed up for his first year. It was, we have to score 45 points to win a game. It wasn't like they were winning these close ones. Now they're starting to scrape out those close ones. But still, look at this game. If they didn't put up 40 points, they probably it's a game. They might not win. Just to talk on Jared Goff real quick, I can't believe Dan Campbell didn't give him the game ball. That is just sad. He currently has more touchdowns, Then Travis Kelce, Tyler Lockett, Dallas Goedert, Deebo Samuel, Michael Pittman, Brandon Ayuk, Jahan Dotson, Tank Dell, Sam Laporta, and JSN. All combined. He has more touchdowns than them all combined. Come on.
We're talking receiving touchdowns,
This is
right?
why I traded Brandon Ayuk. No, but yeah, there's questions with that defense. And, I think that they do have holes on that team where, coming down the stretch, we could see a 4-team race, which was my next question for you guys. Do we think all 4 NFC North teams will still be in contention in the next 4 or 5 weeks? Because you look at this division, you got the Lions are playing really well. They look great in those black uniforms. That looked fantastic. Which actually, I was thinking about this while I was watching the game. You know those, what are they called? The little helmets that they put on. The helmets over the helmet.
Like the protective caps
those
things?
Guardian caps.
Yeah.
How do you do that with those fluorescent blue helmets? I think, but I think you just gotta suck it up and you don't wear one for those games. I feel like you can't wear one of those with the All Blacks.
How many people are actually wearing those caps?
A lot.
Really?
It's been a lot. The Steelers have a couple, I know.
Yeah, they got like 2, I think. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
No,
No, the
running backs.
The
Oh, no.
Dolphins have one. The Titans have a couple on offense that are receivers. I think their tight end wears it.
I know JT was wearing one at the start, but I think he stopped.
I think he took it off. He's done better without it. No offense to the Guardian caps.
I mean, it kind of looks like they're just wearing like a piece of cloth though. Like I don't understand what it's protecting.
That's what I was
Quite
wondering.
frankly.
If the do you think some of these guys that wear them and then maybe one game they don't? Do you think they realize a difference?
See, I don't know, but I just think no. I'm gonna say no, just because, like I said, it looks like a piece of cloth. But when you watch preseason, they're way more out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There has to be a difference where you're just not you might not feel the impact of the hit, but at some point your neck's still cranking. It's not just. How much of the impact is it actually taken away?
Exactly. If there's one person I think should wear it probably for the rest of their career, Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback Miami Dolphins.
All right, wait. Do we just to answer the question? Do we think the 4 NFC North teams are still going to be alive?
I would say yeah. I still think it's the Lions division to lose, and that's even with Minnesota being 4-0. But the Bears, again, I said this at the start of the year, they're going to start kind of slow, but more and more over time each week. Caleb's going to get more comfortable with the offense. The run game's going to get going. The defense is there. The only team I worry about is, not even the Pack. Jordan Love is back. It kind of is. It's kind of like another AFC North. So, I still think the Lions are too dominant. It's really just beating themselves. That's the only way I could see them losing the division.
I agree
You don't
completely
agree
with
about
that.
the Steelers over there.
Nah.
It's all right. All right. No, but let's get into Tua real quick. The Dolphins fell to 0-3 against the Titans on Monday Night Football. They are now 2 and I have the stat here. They are 2-8 in prime time since 2022. Basically, when Mike McDaniel started. What?
They're 1-3.
With what? They're 1-3 with what?
It's in the overall record.
What?
The overall record?
No, they're 0-3 against the Titans on Monday Night Football.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. No, I know they're 1-3, but they are now 0-3 against the Titans on Monday Night Football. And they have also yet to hold a lead on the season. I get it. You brought in Tyler Huntley, and Huntley can get the job done, kind of. But last night, it showed he can't get the job done. He missed Tyreek Hill multiple times deep. These are house calls he's missing, and he missed it multiple times. What's his name? Achane. The man just doesn't think Achane can play football, doesn't even get him the ball. Ruined my bets. But I feel like the Dolphins, they have a slightly easy schedule coming up over the next 3 weeks. It's not going to be super easy because they don't have the quarterback, but it's possible that they could win all 3. But I just don't think Huntley can get it done. I think they might go 0-3 here. Now Tua is going to be fighting an uphill battle with a gauntlet of games coming up, and who knows if Tua's even going to come back against Arizona. He might not even be ready to come back. We might be looking at another couple weeks after he's actually activated to play. But I just don't know where this Dolphins team goes from here. They look miserable. Tyreek Hill is screaming at McDaniel on the sideline. It's ugly. Even Jalen Waddle looked pissed at the game. He caught a ball and made a good play, and he immediately just dropped the ball, took his helmet off, walked to the sideline. He looked pissed. I don't know where this team's going to go.
I just don't think that they're going to be able to go anywhere.
I'm with you.
I came into the season thinking that they could be top in the division, and now I think they're probably going to fall to 4. And they have all the weapons that they need, but you can't have a quarterback that keeps getting injured, out for at least a third to half of the year, and then you don't even have someone who can back him up. Like, it's not right. Tyler Huntley, not a top 50 quarterback. I don't think he's a good backup. I just don't see them winning multiple games. They could probably win 2 of the next 6.
I feel bad for Huntley because he just got signed and he really was just thrown into the fire. Did he look good? Not really. Yeah, he was missing throws and everything. I thought McDaniel called a terrible game. I mean, this right guy, the running back, was doing well. Achane was really not even involved. I just very questionable calling, especially on third down. There was a stat. I believe they were 2 for 22 at one point on third down the whole freaking year. I mean, this just goes to show the loss with Tua. I mean, that's just importance of this team. I mean, Reek's not doing anything. You have the fastest receiver, in my opinion, one of the best receivers, the best receiver in the league, and you can't even get him going because you don't even have a quarterback. But Mike McDaniel, I don't know what the hell he was doing. The plays that he was calling, runs on 3rd and 8. I mean, what are we doing here? Again, you have Huntley, you just sign him, but my question is, come draft time, I know it's down the road. Do they look to get a quarterback? Is it that time? Because how much longer are you going to wait to have Tua be healthy, be ready to play? Because I believe this season's a wash. Unfortunately, this season is a wash. I don't think they go anywhere from here. Maybe they have a heroic run once Tua comes back and somehow stays healthy. But are you really going to put your longevity and your future in the hands of Tua, who's gotten 3 concussions now, and everyone is calling for him to retire? You have to pivot. I think now is where you start doing your research on these guys. They're going to come out, be in the draft. You're going to have a high pick. You're going to have a top 10 pick. At this point, it's what it's looking like. You have to go quarterback, correct? You have to get somebody. You use the waiver wire, you use free agency in the trade block to get your line, but you have to go quarterback. I think it's a smart thing to do.
If there was ever a year to go quarterback, I think it's this year. I think for a lot of teams, we're going to see a lot of teams look to get a quarterback that, might not need it right now, but I think this class just has too much talent in it. I mean, you got Quinn Ewers down in Texas. I know he's injured right now, but he's going to be a top pick. You got Carson Beck, who, honestly, I'm not sold on. I think he's exactly Stetson Bennett, but he's going to go high. He's already being talked about being number 1. You got Jalen Milroe, who's going to start rising up the ranks if he continues to win. He's winning games, and I know he's not a top quarterback, but someone will take him. You look at Cam Ward down in Miami. He's balling. You got Rising out in Utah. He's been injured, but someone will take a chance. The kid at Tennessee, Nico, someone will take a chance. There's so much talent at quarterback this year coming out of college football. I think, if you have questions, if you remotely have a question about what your quarterback situation is going to look like in a year or two, I think you have to take a chance on one of these guys, especially if you're not confident in the guy that's behind you. The Jets, you guys have Travis. You guys are good. If you guys take a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers should raise hell again, just like he did in Green Bay. The Cowboys, I know we got Cooper Rush and everything, but I wouldn't mind us taking a quarterback in a later round. We got Trey Lance sitting there. Come on, Trey Lance ain't doing shit. Number 3 overall pick. Did you look at that? What draft was it?
Biggest bust and mean gas.
There was 4 in a row. It was a Trey Lance year, right? Yep. It was Zach Wilson, Trey Lance,
Zach,
Trevor.
And
there was one more.
it's not Mac Jones, no. It wasn't.
I think it was Mac Jones.
Nah, he was. He fell to the Patriots. The Patriots had a mid-round pick.
Who was it
They were
that year?
15.
Who was it that year? I swear there was a 4th one.
Was it not Mac Jones?
I swear it was Mac
Mac
Jones.
is not 4th overall.
All right, who played Trevor Lawrence's year that he came out? Did Florida State have someone?
I'm
Okay, Zach Wilson went to BYU. Trevor Lawrence, you have Trey Lance. Was there someone in Georgia? Was it Stetson Bennett? No, Stetson Bennett was too recent.
Wasn't Fields.
Wasn't Fields.
Dropped. I think it was just those guys, dude. I think it was just 5 of them.
Okay, here. You guys continue. I'm going to find this.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, Tua, one last thing on Tua. Depending on his health, I mean, I just think that's the route you go. Because even if he is healthy for the next, let's say.
Got it. Wasn't a quarterback. It was Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts.
Okay, so we were wrong there. But, yeah, drafted. Go look for a quarterback, man. I mean, even if he's playing and he is healthy, it doesn't hurt to just have someone back there that is learning. And then you can move off of him if you don't feel like he's even going to take you to the Super Bowl and you're not a Super Bowl contender. Because, again, that's the end goal for everybody. But they're in some shit. I feel for fans because you look forward to this season, all off season, for fucking months. And then, bam, Tua's throwing up gang signs again. And he says, check, please. And he's done. So, bad news.
Yeah, I agree that they do take a quarterback. They should draft one. I think that's a smart decision. I'm just tired of young quarterbacks getting thrown into programs and not being taught from like someone like a veteran or something like that. Like Tom Brady, prime example. He got drafted. He was 10th on the roster, dropped down to 7, went to 3, and then eventually ended up the starting quarterback. It's because he learned and he was taught everything. He wasn't just handed a playbook that's not what they're used to and just thrown out there.
Yeah.
I think that's terrible that they do that, and that's what's going to happen if they draft someone. I mean, on the other hand, this might be a bad take, but if you could get rid of one of your many weapons as the Miami Dolphins and trade for a quarterback that's decent and will help you win games, I think that's also a good idea.
Yeah, and well, it would definitely be Tyreek.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be the guy.
But you still got Waddle.
Yeah, exactly. And you can just build off from there. Like, if they can just accept that they're done, the season is done, they won't. The fans will.
Yeah.
We always do. I know the Dolphins are another version of the Jets. Let's be real here. But if they can accept that and get rid of Reek for a team-needy receiver or not the Mets, but the Jets.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, you know. But no, I'm with you, man, 100%. But it's funny that you say, like you were giving the Tom Brady example. I think we got to give credit to. We won't have to jump into it, but just off the top of my head, Green Bay they just know what they're doing, man. Between Favre, between Rodgers, and now Jordan Love. I mean, how long did he sit for? Like 2 years, 3 years almost? That's how you do it, man. I mean, granted, there are some lucky guys out there and lucky teams like the Washington Commanders who throw in Jaden Daniels, and he's looking like a top quarterback in the NFC alone. So, yeah, Miami's got a lot of research and a lot of thinking to do about their future of that organization and that team as well.
All right, moving on here. Well, actually, not really moving on. Staying in the same game, but speaking of backup quarterbacks, Mason Rudolph entered the game last night at the end of the first half, and I hate to say it, we called it. We called it. It's Mason Rudolph time down there in Tennessee, and Will Levis threw an interception, immediately left the game with an injury. I mean, that is the perfect Will Levis game, and he did it in one half of football. Was he?
He was crying on the sideline.
Was he actually?
Yes.
Oh, man, yeah, you got to bench him after that. It's not about what he's doing on the field. If he's crying on the side, can't have that.
I was going to come here with my nose painted red for Mason Rudolph.
Oh, there you go. Steelers. Yeah, true. We had a Mason Rudolph Huntley game last night. I hope you guys realize that. We can't escape it. Every year. I can't wait to see where it ends up next year. Somewhere in the middle of the schedule, we're going to see a Huntley versus Mason Rudolph game. But Mason Rudolph, he didn't throw the ball a lot, but he just protected the ball. He was he was going to their second play. He was audibling. He ran a good game, right? He ran a good game. He just protected the ball. He gave it to other people so that if it was turned over, it was on them. He just made sure it wasn't him. And honestly, I loved it. I loved every second of it. And he actually scored points, meaningful points, something Will Levis can't do without turning the ball over. No, but now getting to my question. Should the Titans be benching Will Levis? They said they aren't going to. He's still going to be the starter. But, I mean, Mason Rudolph could probably turn their season around.
I say yes. I say you bench Levis. Start Rudolph.
You have to. You have to.
Just quick, I'm not trying to veer off, but he was my favorite quarterback in Pittsburgh. I mean, get Trubisky out of here. Get Pickett out of here.
Hey, we actually, speaking of sitting behind someone and then coming out and being really well, should we have Kenny Pickett on MVP alert in 2 years, sitting behind what the Eagles fans are calling an MVP quarterback? In
No,
Jalen Hurts?
he wears gloves on both of his hands. I say no.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's
That's all
fair.
I gotta say.
Yeah, so the Titans have, I mean, it's not going to be easy for them, but they have a division where if they just come out and play consistently, they will win some games, right? You have the Texans. You probably won't beat the Texans this year, but you could pull some games against the Colts, who are now going to have Sleepy Joe at quarterback. You could pull some games against the Jags, who are currently sitting at 0-4. You just can't catch them in England. If you don't catch them in England, you could win the game. So I think their games are both stateside, correct? Jags and the Titans. I think they're both stateside. So yeah, the Titans can easily win those games, so as long as they're not in London. So the Titans are fully into this division if Mason Rudolph plays football. I think if Will Levis plays, we're going to be looking at like what you called last week, a Jameis Winston season, 30 for 30. I think like he's on pace to do it. After last night, he's on pace to do it.
It's entertaining.
I kind of want it.
Yeah, it's
I kind of want it.
It's funny watching, like seeing it.
Throw that pick and then fucking leave the game was just such a Will Levis fucking start. It's hilarious.
Did you see him throwing the ball on the sideline too? He was like full on like, like every throw. I know you love him.
Fuck that guy, bro. Fuck that guy. After week 1, I don't know if you know this, Luca, but I put $350 on them plus 4.5.
The Titans.
Yes. They were up 17-3 at halftime and then folded, and I was losing my shit. Fuck Will Levis. Fuck Will Levis. Fuck Will Levis. Beep, beep, beep. Fuck that guy. Not only did he fumble that game, he fumbled Gia Duddy as well. That's it.
He did. He did. All right, let's get away from that. Let's get away from that. All right, Sunday Night Football. We're going to cover this one quick. There's not really much to talk about here, and then we're going to get into the Steelers. The Ravens won 35-10. My only thing coming out of this game is, like, I think I texted this to you. The squad that the Ravens have on offense and their defense playing at that level, they should never lose a football game, ever. Doesn't matter who's on the field. They should never lose a football game with the people they have. Because if a team goes all out to stop the run, they could throw it to Zay Flowers. They could throw it to Likely. What's his name last night went off?
The Ravens?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
Nope. In the past game.
Sean Bateman, Isaiah Likely.
Keep going.
Justice Hill.
Justice Hill. Justice Hill. Justice for Justice Hill. He did really well. But, like, and then if you just go all out to stop the pass game, they're just going to run all over you. And you never know who's going to even run the ball because if Lamar sees you guys just coming downhill, he's just going to keep it bounce outside. Now he's rushing for 120 yards a game. Like, my only thing coming out of this game, in short, is are the Ravens the best team in the NFL currently? Because I genuinely believe that. I know their record doesn't say it. Except, what are they? They are 2-2 right now. 2-2. I mean, they had a slow start to the year, but over the last couple of weeks, I just find it hard to not have them as the best team in the NFL. I'll hand that one over to the Steelers fan.
I could see it. I could honestly see it. Their offense is prolific. They have 3 people in the backfield who could just run over anyone. It's points every game. They have weapons to throw to. Their defense still solid. I feel like their defense will always be solid. It's been solid since the early 2000s.
Better than solid, man.
Yeah, like
That's an elite defense.
yeah. I think all around they're a great team.
And people were pulling the panic button on them. Like, let's be real here. You don't sign Derrick Henry and you have Lamar Jackson in the backfield and you're pulling a panic button. Like, they're a really good team, dude. Like, that they have their identity. They're finally figuring it out. I believe that Lamar was under center a lot more, which I think was allowing Derrick Henry to just get more open in space. I think that's what they finally figured out because, again, he doesn't like getting the ball in shotgun formation. It just didn't really work. He wasn't used to that in Tennessee. But, yeah, their defense is elite. I'm not calling the Bills fraudulent. I'm not going to say that, but they exposed the shit out of their defense. That's what they are. This is all Ravens. This is all Ravens. They were barely passing the ball. Justice Hill, again, that was the only guy that really snapped. Mark Andrews, he's essentially a left tackle at this point. He's not even a tight end anymore. He's the goose egg. He's a left tackle. He's a tackle. So is Isaiah Likely, bro. He threw up a 40-point game, he threw up a very good game week 1. Has not been seen. He is missing. Where is Isaiah Likely? But no, they're ridiculous. I think right now they are the best team in the AFC, besides their record, of course, because they're 2-2. How do you stop them? As long as you stop Derrick Henry, then you have to worry about Lamar Jackson. Then you have to worry about Zay Flowers. I mean, you got any two of those guys, either Derrick Henry or Lamar, on your fantasy team, you won, dude. But again, this is what I said about the Bills. Yes, they're so good. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league at the moment. I still think he is. I just don't think they can go all the way with that team, bro. I really don't. And I know they're good. I'm not saying they're not good. But to go all the way to the Super Bowl, they see the Ravens in the Super Bowl, they're losing that game. They see the Chiefs, I think they're losing that game. There are just teams that are better than them.
Well, to comment on that, I don't think the Chiefs would beat the Bills right now after losing Rashee Rice. I think that offense is going to struggle this week. They still have Patrick Mahomes. They still have the refs on their side. They still have the league on their side, so they'll find a way to win. But Patrick Mahomes taking Rashee Rice out the same way that Rashee Rice took out that car on the highway is, I mean,
Just hit the dip, bro. Just saw him on the corner.
their season is ruined for a week. Until the refs figure out how they're going to manipulate the game next week, I don't see – dude, Chiefs are going to be in trouble. The Bills have the Texans and the Jets in prime time coming up. If they win one of those, they're good. If they lose both of them, I think that they are in trouble. I think that would be – I said it last week that you wanted the Bills to win. No. Now we are cheering for the Bills to lose. If they lose both of these, the Jets are winning that division. But, yes, yeah, whatever. All right, let's move on here to what we really want to talk about, which is the Steelers. Let's start here. Are you all in on Justin Fields?
No.
There we go. Why? Because I think he's getting better week by week. He's still fumbling the ball, but like Jalen Hurts does that, and everyone thinks he's the best. Like I think Justin Fields is slowly getting better. He loves your staff.
Everyone can love the Pittsburgh Steelers staff. It's not that hard. But I like Justin Fields a lot. I think he has potential to be a great quarterback. I don't know if you saw the fumble in that game.
Yeah, I did.
That was horrible. I almost broke a window at the bar.
He's ranked 18th in the NFL right now for starting
terrible.
quarterbacks, which I mean is just about where you would think he would be. My biggest thing with him is like, okay, if you don't have him, who would you put there, right? Because Russell, I know the obvious answer is Russell Wilson, but does Russell Wilson really make your team better than having Justin Fields back there with the offense you have right now? With the weapons you have right now. Because right now you got George Pickens. Like, does Russell Wilson really make your offense that much better?
Not really, honestly, because all we do have is George Pickens.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say Freiermuth, but
No.
No.
You can't. That's the most Steelers last name of all time, one. But two, in no world is a guy named Freiermuth ever going to be like a top 3. He's never going to be a top 3 player on an offense. It can't happen. So if he is your top 3 player, which he is a top 3 weapon for you guys, I mean, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
pretty much.
Yeah. You have something to say? Go for it.
You have to take Darnell Washington, put him at quarterback, and just run Wildcats all day. I'm kidding, but did you see his hurdle? That's a big man running.
Dude, he put that guy to the ground and then jumped. Like, I was surprised to see that, but he also, I saw a video of him doing that at Georgia too, which blew my mind even more. I was like, that must have been the first time he did that, but no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Watching that game, again, I agree with you on Fields. Like, he's still learning too. Like, we can't forget, like, the Bears, I think they're finally figuring it out with Caleb, but, like, they didn't really figure it out with Justin. Justin was throwing it to the fire like another rookie quarterback.
It was exactly what we said. He got thrown in.
Yep.
Yeah, he was screwed.
Yeah,
but
it was bad.
It just watching that team, they play some boring fucking football. We all know that, but they get their wins. what I think is that defense is very good. Do I think that they're going to come out every single week and play Steelers physical elite defense every single week? No. And that's exactly what we saw against the Colts.
I was going to say that's exactly what we saw.
Exactly.
They
Like,
played a terrible game against
bro,
the Colts.
They're not like the fucking 2000s Ravens where they had Ray Lewis and all that. They're damn good defense. I think TJ Watt's probably the best DN in the league right now. Aiden Hutchinson's making a name for himself for Defensive Player of the Year. But how long can this Steelers defense take you guys? Because that second half of the schedule is freaking brutal. It is so brutal. So I think they just need to get healthier again. If they could just get their offensive linemen back on the field, because they're missing a lot of guys. Correct?
Our offensive line right now is very young. And,
absolutely. No, absolutely.
Roderick Jones
Yep.
gets at least 3 penalties called on him a game, and he has a temper that I don't really like. He's always pushing people around after the play. We saw it against the Colts.
Fuck you, Belichick. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you, Belichick. Thanks a lot, buddy. Okay, so he's not playing well, and he's a penalty merchant then.
Yeah. That, in my opinion, yes. I think he has all the potential to be great, but I haven't seen that yet. And back to the defense, we lost 2 people to season-ending injuries so far. Herbig being the other.
Herbig's one of them.
Yep,
Ouch.
he's rotator cuff. He's done.
No.
And he was playing
Good player.
great the first 2
He's a
games.
really good player.
So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, offenses are going to have to worry about T.J. Watt getting to the quarterback. I mean,
Hi, Smith.
yeah, and then maybe Patrick Queen if they blitz. But
Yeah, they're really low. Like, I was looking at their defense today, and just all the names that they really are loaded on defense. But I mean, listen, they're gonna. Nothing has changed with the Steelers. They're gonna continue to just run the ball with Najee. Jalen Warren being out too, I think that really hurts because Najee's just taking pretty much every single snap now. But do you worry about George Pickens? Because he seems like a guy. I think he's very, very good. But he seems like a guy, especially in that type of offense, to get easily frustrated. Do you think he could just keep a level head throughout the season and just keep doing his best? You know what I mean? Especially with Justin Fields at quarterback.
I think he will keep doing his best, but I also think that he will get frustrated at least once a game.
You see him on the sideline, and he just looks so pissed off. Every time the camera's on, I'm like, man, like, there's just one game where I'm just going to see him freaking blow up, and I'm just waiting for it.
I just think he has that mentality that he wants to be one of the best players in the league, and he's never going to be satisfied with what he's got. I mean, he could get a 75-yard touchdown pass, and he'll be happy for 5 seconds, but he'll want to go back out there and do it again. Like, I feel like he's just one of those guys.
I agree with everything. Like, again,
I don't know why you passed me the mic.
When I had, because I didn't have anything to say, but when I had Greg on, when we had Greg on last week, like, it was, I don't know if you thought, like, us were going to argue, like, me and Luca. Okay, that's good, because I pretty much agree with you on everything, too. Like, are you, I guess my last thing here, are you confident in the way you guys could still get wins and finish out the season strong? Like, do you see yourself as a playoff contender, whether it be the AFC North winning it, being a division champ, or sneak into the wild card?
I'll make this easier. What would constitute a good season in a Steelers' head and mind? Because right now, 9-8 is like a great season for you guys.
I'm tired of the 9-8s, honestly.
There we go. All right. So Steelers fans don't want to be 9-8. That's good to know.
Don't get me wrong. Being a plus 500 team every year for the past 17 seasons is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think I like Mike Tomlin a lot. A lot of people hate on him. It is what it is at this point. But I think he's a great coach. I think he knows what he's doing with his players, play calls, all that. And I think he's just a great guy off the field, too. Other than that, I mean, I'd like 10 wins this season.
So
I think we get 11, possibly, depending on if we split with the Ravens or not.
Okay.
Or if we just own them like we always do.
Okay. Yep. Fair. So I want to do this because this always gets people riled up with the Steelers. So we're going to go through. I'm just going to say the games. We're going to go right in order, and you just say win or loss or tie.
Okay.
Ties are allowed.
Okay.
Okay. Don't keep.
We
track.
don't. We
keep
don't
track
tie.
of it.
We don't tie.
Oh, should I bring it back? Okay, I'll do that this week. Don't say the record because I want him to not know it as we go. He might have it in his head, but if he ends up at 9-8, it'd be the greatest thing.
Okay, I got you.
You know. Okay, ready? So this week coming up, reminder: Justin Fields is 14-30 in primetime. All right.
with the Bears.
Fair. Okay, so week 5, we're starting there. Versus Dallas.
Is it in Dallas?
Yep. Nope. Home.
Home.
Yeah.
Win.
Asshole. At the Raiders.
Win.
Versus the Jets.
Win.
Versus the Giants. Prime time.
Win.
Bye week. Win.
Win.
Okay. At Washington. At the Commies, sorry.
I think we take a loss there.
Okay. Versus Baltimore.
In Baltimore?
Versus Baltimore.
Oh, okay. Win.
At Browns.
Win.
At Bengals.
Win.
Versus the Browns.
We'll take a loss.
At the Eagles.
Win.
At the Ravens.
Loss.
Versus the Chiefs.
Win.
Week 18 versus the Bengals.
Loss.
Okay, Mike, what was he at?
12-5.
I feel like we're gonna lose some games in there. We could potentially lose to the Cowboys. I don't think Dak Prescott has ever faced the Steelers.
I hate to do this to you, but he has.
Okay, when in 2018?
And that was the game when Zeke ran for 215 yards on y'all on your great defense. And
It was
Dak
in
threw for
2018, right?
Yeah, Dak threw for another 190 or 200.
Yeah.
It was ugly for you guys. It was awesome.
Zeke will run for 7 yards.
Zeke's not going to play. Zeke is only in there to pass block, which he's probably going to get phased out soon. Yeah, and snap the ball. That's only if we're really down bad, though. It's Rico Dowdle season. I think this game's going to be really good because your defense is really good, and our offense has looked miserable, although CeeDee Lamb is coming on a revenge tour, he said this week. He said he has to be better. He acted like a little boy last week. He needs to be better.
Were those his exact words? Or is that what you...
Very close.
Okay.
Very close.
Right.
He did say this, though. He did say that he threw a tantrum and needs to be better because it wasn't warranted.
Tantrums won't get you anywhere.
Nope. Look at Odell. Yeah, but 12-5, is that what we had? Yeah, that's not bad. That will probably get you second place in your division.
No. We're going to be first.
So you're thinking Steelers win the division.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could
So-
possibly go 13-4.
So that's your best case scenario right there, right? Win the division at 12-5, make the playoffs. What do you do in the playoffs? If you get into the playoffs, what would constitute a good playoff run? Lose to the Chiefs?
Getting a win.
So one win. So you and the Cowboys are in the same book. We're all here. Just want to make the playoffs and possibly get a win. I'm in agreement with you. I think that's a good strat. Yeah. When you don't do it a lot, you gotta try.
I think this is the team that will get a playoff win, if any team. But it just depends on who we play, honestly.
Yeah. 12-5, you gotta think the Chiefs are gonna drop games. They're not gonna go undefeated, right? The Bills, I don't think they'll probably end around there. The Jets aren't. They'll probably end around there. You're gonna be right in it to possibly have a bye. Right? So you're looking at possibly playing, if you get the 1 seed, you're avoiding the Chiefs. Maybe you get the Bills. Maybe you get the Ravens, something like that, which I think those two would be the matchups you'd want to avoid. But after that, I'm not sure I'd be scared of anyone in the AFC East. The Texans, I think your defense can handle them. And then your offense will put up, they'll find a way to get points against the Texans, in my opinion. At that point in the season, Justin Fields has to figure it out.
Yeah, I could agree with that. If we figure it out, I think we do get a win if we do play the Texans. Other than that, the Texans are fantastic. They have
their offense is explosive.
Offense.
Really good, especially when they get Tank Dell back fully healthy.
Yeah.
But the way your defense is playing, I think you guys could definitely hold them to 15 to 20 points, which is totally manageable to get a win.
Yeah.
Right? As long as you're not giving up 30 points, right, which I don't think your defense is even capable of doing, which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
I think you're in every game. My last question with the Steelers, really, it's not even about the Steelers. How dead are the Bengals?
Honestly, it was surprising to me the way that they've been playing football.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
I don't even really know what to say about that.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Burrow, what do you like? I always thought he was a great quarterback, and I mean, what are you doing? Like, I don't get it.
Like, is it a coaching thing? Is it
It
the head coach?
it has to
the
be.
head coach just
It
like
really has to be.
when I watch the games, he's just like it's awkward to me. It's weird because
I don't even know who the coach is.
I forget his name. Zach Taylor. Yeah, he just looks like he should be the Jags head coach. Like he shouldn't be the Bengals. You know what I mean?
Great comparison.
Right?
Yes.
Thank you.
100%.
Like
I
it
do
makes
like
a
that.
lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like if he was there, you know, he has a little Bill O'Brien look to him where like if you put him on a team that, you know, is going to be mediocre or like supposed to be really good and he makes him mediocre like he's doing, it would make complete sense. That's why I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But like the Bengals, you have a really good team. What are we doing? Y'all got to get a coach in there that can help them. Get Big Bill in there. Get someone.
That's everyone. Everyone's like, call Bill Belichick. I think Zach Taylor, number one, looks like Jason Garrett's son. Number two, I think now, after that, the Bengals here, after that win against Carolina, I think this is where we start to see some wins pile up. Because I don't think it's as much as – I don't think it's really on Joe Burrow. I think even though he's had his losses, he was out – no T Higgins for what, the first 2 weeks, something like that? I mean, they handled business in Carolina. I thought the offense looked great. Chase Brown is a sleeper guy. But, yeah, it's their defense. Their defense is the portion of that team.
It's terrible.
It's really bad. Like, we say this about the Birds all the time. Great offense, shit defense.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
they are shittier on defense than the Birds. So, I think
Somehow.
Burrow is doing
Somehow.
his thing. Somehow, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even you look at the game against the Commanders, bro. You're letting up 38 to the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. Granted, he's a very, very good quarterback. But they were in that game. I think they lost by 3 points, a touchdown, something like that. Yeah. But I can't sit here and say that Joe Burrow isn't Joe Burrow still. Like, I think he's still a stud.
Oh, no. I love Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I just think their defense, like, they can't hold anyone to less than, like, 20 points.
Exactly.
Like, the Carolina scored 24 on them with the Red Rocket, the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton. So I think now we're going to start seeing some wins pile up for them, maybe like 2 or 3 in a row, and then everyone's going to be back on the train. Oh, Burrow's back. Oh, my God, the Bengals, are they the number one team in the AFC, or can they be the number one team in the league? It's going to happen. The headlines are the signs are they're merging, but the signs are merging. For me in that division, I think I was too high on the Browns.
A lot of people were.
I really was, because last year, I mean, I think they had the best defense in the league, probably top 2. But Deshaun Watson, I will say, has looked way better against the Raiders. But something, I don't know. They're banged up big time. And now you got Nick Chubb practicing again. I think I got to give that man a standing ovation whenever he plays wherever I am at. I don't know. I expected more from that team. I just don't think Deshaun Watson has it anymore. I just think with everything that's gone on in his life and being out of football for so long, I just don't see them competing. So I really think it's – I can't count the Bengals out yet, but I still think the Steelers do have a shot to make the playoffs, whether it be winning the division or getting a wild card spot. Because if you think about it, the only team I think coming out of the wild card in the AFC would be the Jets. The Bills are probably going to win the division. For the AFC North, it's going to be those 3 teams. The Bengals will come back. AFC South's going to be Tennessee. Or not, Jesus Christ, the Texans. The Colts maybe can sneak in, but you look at the AFC West, I mean, the Chargers don't even look good. I know I'm getting off topic here, but, like, I haven't seen anything from them. Everyone was so high on them once they got Jim Harbaugh, and I don't know. They just don't look powerful enough as a team on offense.
Yeah.
One thing with the Chargers, though, I'm going to make an excuse for them here. They haven't looked great. I will say that. Watched them this weekend. Wasn't good. But Justin Herbert's playing with a high ankle sprain, and it's very obvious that he's unable to move. Like we said on last show, like he stepped through the pocket, stepped up. He tried to move forward and plant his foot and make the throw, and he literally fell over when he planted his foot. Like he can't. He's working with one clean ankle. The other one's non-existent. So I think that it is an excuse. He is playing, so you got to hold him to, you're on the field, you're healthy, right? But I think at some point they just got to look at it and be like, are we hurting our team by playing him, or should we just let him rest, bring him back in 2 weeks, and just go for it.
Who's
Because
your backup? Do you even know?
I can find it quick. I don't know. We should know because he played in both games, I believe.
Nathan Peterman.
It might be. It seriously might
really
be. Like, I'm not kidding. That sounds correct.
Oh my God, no.
Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke.
Okay.
Same person.
Oh, gotcha.
Same person.
I'd give Heineke to start.
Yeah, like that's
honestly.
not a bad option. You know,
Not at all.
like if Herb's really that hurt, just let Heineke go. Like he's Jeremy Lin. He could have a good run.
Even just for one game.
Yeah, just let him go one game. Let's see who they play real quick. Let's see who they play. So, buddy, if Herbert plays in this next game, they have issues because Taylor Heineke is fully capable of winning this game. They're at the Broncos. First of all,
Perfect game.
Heineke's going to be able to launch the ball in that whole stadium. You're saying an L? You're saying an L? Why? 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 Because the Jets.
After what I just seen their defense do to the fucking Jets. Granted, the Jets
Offense, Nathaniel Hackett is a piece of shit.
That's a win.
Mike,
That's a dub.
Mike, we've seen this before. It's the Jets. It's the Jets. Y'all are cursed. Y'all are cursed. Y'all are cursed. You just got undone by Zach Wilson's team. That's all it was. You guys were seeing ghosts. He brought that little cloud over with him, made sure it was nice and cloudy, just like it was when he was there, and he rolled over you guys. He didn't play, but he rolled over you guys. He looked real good. He told Bo Nix all the ins and outs of the offense, and y'all got burnt. It's okay. It's okay.
Bo Nix threw for like 62 yards and 1 touchdown. He went like 12 for 25. They got the win.
Y'all got beat by a guy for 60 yards and had one receiver over 10 yards, over 4 yards. One receiver over 4 yards.
Yeah, we got a 9:30 in the morning. I might wake up either pissed off or happy as balls. Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold, my guy, in London. Fuck me. God, I'm terrified.
All right, last thing. Score prediction. Cowboys, Steelers. What are you thinking? I know who you're going to pick to win, obviously. Steelers. Right?
It's close. It's really close. I was debating about it, honestly.
Okay.
Justin Fields did play good against the Cowboys the last time he played them. Granted, he was in Chicago, so he had no defense to back him up.
Mm-hmm.
30-28.
Who?
Steelers.
Oh, okay. Close one. Real close.
Lots of field goals.
Lots of field goals.
Lots of field goals.
Lots of field goals. 10 field goals. Beat the Cowboys.
Sure.
That would be unreal.
I'll take it.
I would break my TV.
Hey, wait. Back to the games last night. 7 field goals?
Yeah. Yeah, we got to
In
stop
one
these.
game?
That's like the 10th game that's been all field goals. We got to stop that. We
There's
can't be
so
doing
many
that.
field goals this season. There are multiple kickers who have multiple games with 15-plus kicking points. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. Brandon Aubrey, the GOAT, best player in the NFL.
No.
Brandon Aubrey has scored more points than the Miami Dolphins so far this year. Think about that.
I believe it.
But all right, Luca, thank you for coming on. I hope you lose this Sunday, but thank you for coming on. That was awesome. Great to have you on. I'm sure it won't be the last time.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys.
No problem. All right, Mike, anything else? Good?
That game is tough, by the way. I don't know who to pick. I'm going to ride with them boys, though.
Okay, I like it.
Thank you.
I
I
like
like
it.
that. All right. Well, that's all. I'm not. Everyone knows who I'm taking.
Maybe
50-0. Thank you, and that's all we're gonna say. See ya. All right, so we're not leaving yet because we forgot to do the rankings again for the 3rd week in a row. So I'm gonna give my top 10 teams at this moment following week 4. Do you want me to start at number 10?
I want you to start from number 10.
Okay.
Go your way up to number 1.
Do you want me to give my first 4 out as well? First?
Sure.
Okay, so my first 4 out. The Seahawks, the Cowboys, the Packers, the Bears.
Okay.
Fucking looking?
I am
What are you
looking.
doing?
All right, so they are the...
They're the first 4 out.
Yeah.
First
gotcha.
4 out. Okay, at number 10. I feel like people are not going to like this. At number 10, the Bengals. I think that they could still turn this thing around. They're my number 10 team. They looked good. They're going to look good. They will look good. Number 10. Number 9, Falcons. Number 8, the Bucks. Number 7, the Bills. Number 6, the Commanders. And number 5, the Texans. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. All right? So the top 4. Now, here's where I had a little bit of trouble with these next 3. I feel like all 3 are capable of being in any of the spots, from 4 to 3 to 2. At number 4, I'm putting the 49ers. I'm putting the 49ers there. I don't know. I feel like without Chris McCaffrey, I'm not sure what type of team they are. I think they are a very good team, but are they the best team? Don't think so. Don't think so. I'm going to put the Lions above them. I thought they were impressive so far this season. They've gotten very good wins. They look really good, taking care of business. Dan Campbell's got the boys buzzing again. At number 2, and Mike, you're going to love this.
Of course. It's great. Good placement.
Number 2, you're going to love this.
I know I am.
Aaron Rodgers has looked shocking. He's looked shocking. It gives me shades of Sam Darnold times.
Rightfully so, man.
And that is why I'm putting the Vikings at number 2, because Sam Darnold has looked fantastic this year. The Vikings are rolling. They're running the ball, and they're going to take care of business when they go to London this week at 9:30 in the morning, and they're going to beat the Jets, and Sam Darnold's run is going to continue. He's 4-0 against the spread this year. He is covering. He is covering all his bases. He's getting the boys the ball. He's moving the ball. He looks great. He feels great. He's not seeing ghosts. It ain't Halloween yet.
Nope.
It ain't Halloween up in here. And, yeah, so Vikings at number 2. He's going to move the 5-0. Number 1, I said it on the show. I believe in this. They should never lose a football game ever. They are the best team in the NFL. They are the best offense in the NFL. The defense looks fantastic. It always has, always will. They wear the purple and black. They look scary at nighttime. They look scary at primetime. They look scary at 1 o'clock. I'm putting the Ravens at number 1. They are the best team in the NFL. If you hate it, you hate it, but that is my rankings.
Go through it again. Start from 1 and work your way to 10.
Ravens, Vikings, Lions, 49ers, Texans, Commanders, Bills, Bucks, Falcons, Bengals. First 4 out, Seahawks, Cowboys, Packers, Bears.
Did you forget that the Kansas City Chiefs exist?
Nope.
You have them at 15.
Yeah.
Wow. Even with the record.
After Rashee Rice's injury.
Even with the record, and probably one of the best quarterbacks we're ever going to see. You have in the top 10.
So here's my thing. With each team, I did a curve. Like in math class, I did a curve. And you have to have the ref's influence come out of it. So I did a curve, and the curve brought the Chiefs down to 15. We'll see how they do this week.
Oh, that's got to stir up some fucking controversy.
We'll see how they do this week.
Oh, Chiefs Kingdom is going to destroy you.
That's all right.
I actually like your rankings.
There's a chance that if they do well this week without Rashee Rice, they move up to like the top 5.
I think your top 5 right now is very solid. Yeah, no, I mean, I like them all. I mean, your 4 that are out, the fact that you did not put the Cowboys in just shows how accurate this is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I still would put the Chiefs in there. Just they're 4-0, and
you can't look at records. We're looking at best football teams.
That's true. That's true.
I'm looking at how they play.
I just think it's hard to not have them in the top 10 with Andy Reid and Mahomes, even if they don't have weapons. Look at last year, bro. Same thing. But
the curve, Mike.
The curve. So, yeah, good list. Good list.
All right. And now that is all.
That's it.
We'll
now
see
we're
you.
done. See you later.